Hi, everybody. Welcome to your public meeting. We're excited to share news about the new Stuart Street General Storm Project. I'm Ryan Lewis. I'm the Public Information Manager for the project and your MC for the evening. Would you go to the next slide, Abby?
Let's see. Yes.
Okay, so we want to be as accessible as possible, and we pledge to provide bilingual information throughout the project. We have a dedicated member of the team to answer any questions in Spanish. And so if there's a way that you or your family would prefer to get information from our team about this project over the next year, then please use the information below. This presentation is going to be in English, but if you want to receive the materials in another language, just please use the information on this slide. Or use the QR code to visit our website. Okay, Abby, next slide. So we can skip this slide. Well, yeah. First of all, introductions. Here are your team members for tonight. We have several folks. Paul and Lauren are from Denver's Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, or DOTI for short, and also from Flatiron Construction. We have Corey, Jim, and Jeff. So we've got lots of things to cover tonight. Next slide, please. And Lauren is going to kick things off and go over the first sections, the project overview and the schedule, and then we'll hand it off to Paul to discuss what we should expect over the next year. So Lauren, take it away. Next slide.
Hello, again, I'm Lauren Wolleman. I am the Design Project Manager with DOTI. The Stuart Street Storm Project, or also known as Antero Peak General Storm, is a general storm project in the West Colfax neighborhood, and the goal is to address flooding issues or drainage issues on Colfax. There's an existing storm sewer system in Colfax that flows east and then goes south down Lowell Street and outfalls to Dry Gulch at Lowell. We'll be intercepting that storm sewer and taking the storm water from Colfax south to Dry Gulch in a new storm pipe underneath Stuart Street. So this project, again, will help alleviate drainage issues on West Colfax Avenue. There will also be inlets on Stuart, so it'll help with some minor drainage pooling on Stuart. And the system is for minor storm events. So anything major would be contained in the street itself rather than in the storm sewer system. And then as part of this project, we'll also have new pavement, curb and gutter in some locations, inlets, and landscaping. There will be new crosswalks at Colfax, and then new sidewalk in a little section of that's missing sidewalk just right at 13th and Stewart. And then along Wells Place, there will be updates, new curb and gutter on the south side of Wells, a new fence there, and then some water quality swales along just adjacent to Wells Place on that south side of the fence there. Next slide. So here's an overview of the project location. Again, we're going from Colfax south to Dry Gulch. There will be a 48-inch pipe underneath the road, pedestrian crossing improvements, sidewalk improvements, and then those water quality enhancements I was referring to are right here between Wells Place and Dry Gulch. And then we will be crossing the trail with our project. Next slide. This is a schedule of the construction phasing. And so we'll start this next month with the south side of the project at Dry Gulch and then work our way north to Colfax. And then I think I'm turning it over to Paul next.
Thank you, Lauren. All right, Paul, with what to expect over the next year.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us this evening and taking time to see what's going on in your neighborhood. As you can see, we're going to be putting a storm system through Stuart Street from Lakewood Gulch all the way up to Colfax. So as you can see, we're going to be in front of a great number of houses along Stuart Street. The contractor is going to phase their work so we can get up through there, so everybody will be able to get in and out a little bit, but while they're working on the street in individual blocks, there will be, difficult access to the front of your house. But both sides of Stuart Street above 13th already have alleys, so that's good on you. You're very lucky in that. Let's see, 13th and 14th. 13th, we have the big water line we're going to be going under, so we've got some challenges there. 14th is mostly just telecom, so no big issues, but it shouldn't be too bad. And then Colfax between Tennyson and Raleigh, we're going to be crossing Colfax kind of at a diagonal, and that's going to be phased into 3 sections. So we're going to be able to get across Colfax with some lane closures and get through there. The business right at Colfax and Stuart on the west side is the new steakhouse that just took over about a month ago. And on the other side is Big Daddy's Pizza. Both of these already have frontage off of Colfax and off of Stuart, so we'll be able to minimize impacts into those businesses. I think the only challenges we're going to have is getting the dumpster service for both of those businesses since they're all on the Stuart Street side. As you can see, with this type of construction, there is going to be street parking limitations. We are not going to be able to have vehicles parked on the street, and as a result, the driveways that you all have that open onto Stuart Street, you're going to have to make a decision on where you want to keep a vehicle in the driveway and not be able to get out, or move it down to 13th or 14th and park on the side street there. We're going to have areas where residents are going to be able to park, so we'll have that covered for you. Next slide. So when we cross from Lakewood Dry Gulch up to Wells, the Frisbee golf course is going to have to be down for probably about a month. I know there's quite a bit of pedestrian use in there, and there's a lot of pedestrians that come through going to the light rail. Luckily, we have the detour bridge right there at Tennyson, so that's easy enough for people to cross over and get to the other side and still get down to the light rail station. So that's all good. The noise will be under DDPHE ordinance, so we're okay there. Our work hours are from 7 to 5 on Monday through Friday. So if you have any questions about that or anything, please let the project know, let myself or Ryan know, and we can meet with you individually and see what's going on there. Removal of trees. So we do have one cottonwood and some smaller trees along Wells Place that are going to have to come out to get this work done. We need to get this done, and unfortunately that one tree is in the way. The great big one there, don't worry, is staying. That one is safe. Everybody's talked about that one and all the birds that roost in there, and it's a giant tree. We don't want to take that one down. Again, we're going to have the monthly newsletter, so if you have any issues, please contact us. We can put it in the newsletter and answer your questions so that all the residents in the area can find out what the resolution was to your question, because they probably have the same question and just didn't bring it up. So thank you, and I will pass it off.
Okay, thank you very much, Paul. Abby, I'll take the next slide. Okay, so here's the information again about contacting. As Paul mentioned, we're going to have a regular newsletter. So if you would like to receive that, send us an email or give us a call. You'll also be able to hopefully access that information from the website, and you can use this QR code to get there. And also that will come out after the project starts, that will be coming out probably weekly, depending on the changes in the construction phases themselves. Abby, next slide. This is the, we've come to the questions and answer section of the presentation. And so I have a couple questions that I'll pose to the team. If anybody has, anybody feel free to chime in. The first one is that timeline feature that we had. Actually, Abby, would you mind going back up to that slide with the timeline on it? So here we have phase 5, the north side of Colfax Avenue ending in October, and we have scheduled the program or the project to end in December. And so are there other things that people are considering doing in those last 2 months?
Paul, do you have this one?
Yeah, I don't see any issues at all. I think if we talk to Jim and Jeff, we should be very easily within that timeline.
Okay. We have someone admitting now, so I'm going to admit them. So we see we have a guest who's joined. We've just gone through the presentation, and so we'll be making this available on the website. But if you have a specific question, we can have you join in, and you're welcome to ask it. Our guest, and if not, that's okay. We'll continue as we're going. Okay, so this next question is, we're asking about trash service. Will there be any changes to trash service? What should residents think about as the project is going on?
Yeah, so trash service over there is on Monday. So as we and the contractor work our way up Stuart Street, what we'll probably do is just most likely the residents will put their trash cans out as normal, and we will drag them up the street to 13th. And then as we progress to the next block, we'll probably split it and go between 13th and 14th. And if you could please mark your cans with your addresses on them, if they're not already there already, that would be a huge help so we can make sure everybody gets their trash cans back where they belong. That would be my only concern. I don't want to have 15 trash cans sitting there for a month while we're waiting and someone doesn't have their can that they paid for, because you get the first one free and then after that you have to pay for them, and I don't want to have to do that. So let's make sure that everybody has their addresses on their cans so we can get back to them. I did not see any compost cans over there. I don't know if compost has gotten to this neighborhood yet. We just saw the regular refuse and recycle. I will ask solid waste about that if the compost is coming to this area. That's on me.
Okay, we'll get that information and we can include it in the first newsletter. That's no problem. Just a reminder, if you've just joined us and you have something specific you want to ask, you just have to indicate with your raised hand and then we'll unmute you and you can ask your question. Are there any other things that we didn't cover in this presentation that folks would like to mention? Are either Lauren or Paul or members of Flatiron Construction? Okay, I think we covered a lot. Oh, do you have?
Ryan, can we just go back to the slide that has the contact info and or the website where this will all be posted?
Yes.
Yeah, we can just pause on that for a bit.
Yeah, let's leave that here. Great. Thank you. So we have a dedicated 24-hour news hotline that will be available in both English and Spanish. And then also we've indicated here if people have special Other requirements, as we mentioned before, we can get translations in other languages if we need to, etc. So we just want to make sure that people have the information that they need when they need it. And we promise that we'll get back to you very promptly if you have a question.
Yeah, and myself and members of Flatiron will be out there every day on site. So if you have any questions, don't be afraid to wave us down and talk to us. We don't bite.
Great. Thank you, Paul. Well, if there are no further questions, I will just, if I hear of any questions, I'll pose them to the group offline, and we can get answers back to folks in this forum pretty quickly afterwards. So thank you again for joining us, and we look forward to chatting with you on Stuart Street.
Thank you.